The story I'm about to narrate might sound strange, alienated, yet it does happen. Women are the worst sufferers of any conflict, ethnic suppression, and armed junta. The dictatorship of any feature established their sovereignty through exploiting women. My country was not buried from this unsaid normalcy of war. The blood of the oppressed will never go muted. Its new name is Sri Lanka, situated in the subcontinent of India. I was born just like any other child in my country. Until my birth, they nurtured me as a newborn. I was the third girl in the family, the unhappy completion of the trilogy. People here start worrying about getting the girl married away as soon as her feet touches the earth. By the time I attained puberty, I was frenetically active, as if I was playing out my last days of normalcy. I've never faced any kind of gender bias till that moment. We all climbed trees, jumped and played along. But from then, I felt like a colorless butterfly. But everything around me seemed to change faster than my internal self. Our mother's era grudgingly gave way to our sisters. Meanwhile, to escape from the air bombings, we digged trenches and carried the palm logs to keep us secure. Our hands that were wrapped with bangles and the saris that caressed the body were now replaced with a new dress, the one that of a mute survivor. To let loose their quota of exploitation, the world usually abuses women. The triumphant army did the same. On the way to our school, the armed men used to bully us. Crossing their frequent and always unpleasant checkpoints, we decided to face it rather than to complain or escape. We were motivated by the story of a sister who sank a giant ship. One of her elder sister who questioned the army men went missing. Her bravery was punished. She was gang raped and killed brutally. Once, 3 of our girls blocked the army men inside a small lane. Now we had a weapon, a knife taken from the old lady selling mangoes on the road. Yes, we stabbed them and walked away. As described by the poets, an woman's body was given to cook or wash clothes and take care of her children. It's not the same now. We carry the keys for our independence, unmindful about your patriarchal notions of dominance. The khaki quenched their senses through cold-blooded rapes. The army warned you would be ashamed if you report this. The oppressors took advantage of her conservatism. But then, 1800 women declared about the rapes in a public platform. The society used to be amused while watching women handle cameras for shooting news. Undaunted, we carry the heavy cameras into the war fields. We place the cameras next to the guns. We made films about ourselves, right from directing to execution. Once there was an all-women battalion guarding a territory. The army thought they could easily win this women battalion. I was undergoing my menstrual cycle. The custom in our village was to isolate the girl for 3 days without doing any work. Now I'm also a part of the battalion, holding the weapons for our independence. My mom used to say that I'll be weak during my cycle and I would need to rest. But those 3 days, it was a vigor combat, and the army had to run for their lives. Nobody gave us the authority. We ourselves took the responsibility. The army came to our lands again. We saw the dead bodies of our women almost every day. This is a routine and an expected reward to the Victorians. Someday, we would march after being freed, not the ethnic or territorial independence, but the independence of humanity. It would be the salvation for all the suppressed. It will be our liberation, a declaration as a result of the blood, toil, tears, and the womanhood.